Okay, so now finally we have to determine our energy balance and whether or not we have met local law 97. And this is actually really simple, but it can seem complicated because there's a bunch of calculations that are being done here automatically by this little spreadsheet. I'm going to try to just go through this and explain it. I know we talked about it in class, but let me just, I know that some people are confused by this. So I'm just gonna, I'm saying I've got this is my first simulation. My occupancy is determined by code, and this is from local law 97. They're saying if you're an A occupancy, these are the required pounds of carbon per square foot, or that's the most you're allowed. Um, and if I change this to a different occupancy, it changes the amount, right? Because they're saying that a school and a hospital should not have the same requirements because, by definition, one's going to use more energy than another just because of the type of building it is. Anyway, so this is what we're shooting for in terms of pounds of carbon per square foot. Then I'm just going to come in. So I have K, TA1. I'm just getting this directly from my runs in Climate Studio. In ECB, whole building, performing arts. I have 26,000 square feet. And by the way, if you click on any of these orange cells, you'll see a bunch of weird stuff. That's just if you don't know Excel, it'll be confusing. If not, if you do know it, this is just a basic coding language in Excel of how to put in equations. I've done that all for you. I'm just letting you know that's what's going on here. So this is basically just this column is here to say, yes, we're above 25,000 square feet, and therefore this project needs to comply with local law 97. Then I bring in my kilowatt hours per meter squared, my site EUI from my run, which is 107. I'm using SI units because the IP units for carbon are wrong in Climate Studio. I just know that. So these calculations are made automatically, and we convert to kilobTUs per square foot because that's what's in the code. That's what this is. These numbers are keyed to. All right, let's just continue. Then I'm going to bring in my operational carbon footprint. All that's doing is it's taking the energy that we're using and converting it to pounds of carbon. And it's doing that in Climate Studio behind the scenes. It's divided up our heating, our cooling, our hot water, and our electricity into different types of fuels that all have different carbon footprints. And so we can, if we know that 10% of this number is fuel oil and 40% is coal combustion from electricity, we can get a an output for um, for carbon. So you don't again need to understand that just to realize that we've converted from our energy usage to our our carbon footprint, and that's 42 kilograms of CO2 per meter squared. Then that gets converted to pounds per square foot because that's what's in the code. And we see here then in our first run that we knew was pretty good because we used that really energy efficient template in remember this is where we were before in Climate Studio. We're doing pretty well. We can also now though remember that we ran the PV. Sorry, let me get this back. Script, and I think we had about 20, and I think that's high. I'm gonna say 15 because we're just estimating 20 kilobTUs per square foot of production, and you'll see when I hit enter, that reduces this number. So we actually only have 19 kilobTUs per square foot that we're actually need to take responsibility for. And you see when I change that, if I go back to 0 on this, um, it changes my total here, and then it changes the total CO2. So we're converting based on um, our total usage. So let's see what happens if I don't think it's going to change anything because we didn't improve much with our ventilation. We got I think about a 3% improvement. But anyway, TA2, thermal analysis 2, So it's the same with natural ventilation. And I've got 26,000 square feet. We're at 104. Same 15. And we're at 40 now kilograms of carbon. So, like I said, we're doing great. We're meeting our requirement for 24 and 29. Then we could have some plan to upgrade it, or we could come back and try to improve this number, or increase our PV. I wonder how. Let's just see how low we'd have to go. Go to 100, 75. Yeah, so we can see that we eventually would get there, but there's still some work to be done. For your assignment, I don't care where you are. These can all be no's. I don't expect you to completely understand this. We didn't spend a huge amount of time on understanding the units. We're not engineers. I know that I can only push that so far. Um, but I hope that you understand that we're using energy, we're producing some energy that's transferred to carbon or converted to carbon, and carbon is what local law 97 requires, that we hit a certain threshold of carbon, and then we can actually, using this spreadsheet, estimate if we're getting there or not. That's the summary. Okay, so we're done with energy balance.